Thank you again for accepting our interview request, and let me start from the very beginning, from today's meeting with people, lecture, call it as you want. Again, usually people who are good with writing, who are good with text, are known not to be good at talking or speeches or rhetorical issues. How do you do this? Because I really saw, and I have this on camera, people were thrilled while listening to you. All these emotions, how do you do this?
Well, first of all, you're very kind to say that I am a good speaker. I try to speak about the subjects that I have a passionate interest in. And I hope that in my speeches I convey that kind of enthusiasm. If I'm excited about a topic, I hope they will be too.
Let me ask you a strange question. Why do you write? Why? What pushes you? And I have seen some of your answers, but I want it on the video. So why do you write? Why writer at all? Why not a lawyer, a doctor, a businessman? Why writer?
Nothing in the world other than hanging around with my wife or my daughter gives me as much pleasure as writing. I can't think of anything else that would get me out of bed at 5 or 6 in the morning and keep me in my chair for 6 hours. Now, I think I love writing, first of all, because I've always loved reading. I love stories, and I love what stories can mean to the soul. But I think I also love writing because it gives me an opportunity not simply to tell stories, but in some cases to exercise my own demons, in some cases to deal with all of the anxieties or all of the frustrations or all of the anger sometimes I'm feeling. When I talk about anxieties, it's whatever causes me fear involving my family. When I talk about anger, it's often some of the colossal injustices in this world. I'm not a politician. I'd be a terrible politician. I can't sit still in a meeting. I can't imagine on a regular basis having to lobby for specific issues. I'm so grateful we have lobbyists for certain issues, make no mistake, and I'm so grateful we have politicians and legislators. But that's not my skill set. My skill set when it comes to certain political issues is as a writer. And that's where I think I can hopefully advocate for the issues that matter to me, whether it's respecting and welcoming immigrants, especially given the fact that I am the grandson of 2 Middle Eastern immigrants, or advocating for issues that matter to our Armenian community, Artsakh, Western Armenia, return of the churches, and of course, recognition of the Armenian genocide and the justice that is concomitant with that recognition.
On the inspiration and Armenia, has Armenian character, if there is any, I don't know, you tell me, has it influenced on you? Has it helped you as a writer? Has it changed you in any way, or in general?
What has changed is this. At midlife, I tried for the second time to write a novel of the Armenian genocide. I tried in my early 30s, in the 1990s, and failed. When I tried again with the Sandcastle Girls, it worked. And what changed was both my sense of self, who I am as a person on this great spinning blue marble, and the way that I have been embraced by our community around the world. I am a latecomer to this party, but it hasn't mattered, because the Armenian community has said to me in so many countries and in so many places in the United States, "We're glad you're here. Thank you." And it has been life-changing and life-affirming, and has dramatically affected both my writing and what I see when I look in the mirror. I'm so grateful to the Armenian community.
You have certainly seen, and many of your heroes or heroines are women. And you have certainly seen, and you've talked about that here too, the gender issues in Armenia. They are so serious. As a writer who sees the world differently than scientists, psychologists, maybe close to psychologists, I don't know, what can you offer? How do you see the situation to be ameliorated, changed, developed in terms of gender?
You're absolutely right. Women's rights are serious in Armenia, and we have to support women in Armenia, we in the diaspora, specifically because we do see it differently, we see more of the world. The reality is that women are always at the very bottom of the economic totem pole when an economy falls apart, when a country falls apart. And certainly when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1990, it put women in a horrific position in all of the Soviet republics and in the satellite nations, particularly in a place like Armenia. What I find inspiring, however, is that there are so many vital, vibrant young women there. There are women's organizations that are providing invaluable services, whether it's a small place like Meardun in Echmiadzin, or a larger place such as the Women's Resource Center in Yerevan. I look at the women who run those organizations and I bow before their awesomeness. And I know that as a man, and a man in the diaspora, it is vitally important for me to use that bully pulpit I have as a writer to write about women's issues and to help with that education process. I don't speak Armenian. I'm ashamed to admit that, but it's a reality. So that means that where I can do my best work is as a writer in the diaspora. But I so applaud Armenians from the diaspora and the Armenian women in Yerevan, the Armenian women across that country, and the Armenian men who support them for their rights for safety, their rights for reproductive safety, and their rights for job and economic security.
Anything you would like to say to Armenians directly? Because you know that, you are very popular there. Anything you would like to say to them, to Armenian people in Armenia or Armenians?
Armenia, please know that there are so many of us in the diaspora who are working with our legislators in Washington, D.C., leading, of course, with the Armenian National Committee of America, the Armenian National Committee of Canada, the ANCs around the world, to do what we can to get our governments to support you. Please know that the entrepreneurs among us, the activists among us, the social workers among us have your back.